Hey guys, before we start the show, don't forget to subscribe, click on that notification bell, like, dislike, comment, follow us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcasts. Now, today on the Angel of Words podcast, we have singer-songwriter Natalia Hernandez Nuñez on deck on the Angel of Words podcast. Hello and welcome to the Angel of Words podcast. And today we are via Zoom with singer-songwriter and curl enthusiast Natalia Hernandez Nuñez. Hello, Miss Natalia. How are you? Thank you for joining the Angel of Words podcast today.
Thank you so much for inviting.
It is a pleasure to have you here. It's a pleasure to have you. And I'll be honest with you, the only reason why I invited you is because you are a curl enthusiast. As you can see, I got the curls rocking today too. You know, we love the curls over here at the Angel of Words podcast. You know, but I want to get straight into it. Okay, your song "Celos," your new single that is now on YouTube. You can go check that out, folks. Look, let me tell you something. It's fire. I love the actual content of it, to be completely honest with you, because, you know, I feel like in today's society, we have like this this okay feeling with being the side person, whether it's the side girl or the side dude. And I'm like, when do we become of society of being okay with being second best? Like, I don't get it. Especially Latinos. In love, we always supposed to be number one. You never want to be the side person. So could you really describe, you know, your inspiration behind writing that song?
Okay, so I used to live in Brazil, and I've always been obsessed with like Portuguese music and whatnot. So someone wrote this song, it's called Ciumenta, which translates to like the jealous girl. And I heard it and I was like, oh, this is nice. And I was like, this is like real life. What if I go ahead and like switch a few things about it, switch the beat, make it into Spanish, and like give it my own pizzazz. So I heard of my producer and I'm like, listen, I got this idea. Let's do this and that. He loved it and it was just so fun to make. And I think it's a song that, I mean, it hits home for a lot of people because it's very, very blunt. And it talks about a side of love that, frankly speaking, we all assess. But like you said, we don't want to talk about. And if we know someone that's in that situation, we're like, bueno, you know, we like hush it, throw it under the rug type of thing.
Yeah.
And so the song, the point of view of it is, you know, the side person, whether that be a guy or a girl. And it's like, I accepted it at first, but I'm tired. I'm tired of being the second piece. So either you choose or this is done. So yeah.
I love it. And Natalia, where are you from and what sparked your passion for making music? You know, where did that start?
Yeah, so I'm Dominican. I was born and partly raised there. Most of my life I spent it here in Washington Heights. And like I had mentioned, I went to college and then that's where I did my study abroad in Brazil. For some reason, I watched this movie when I was like 14 and it was called Turistas. I don't know if you've ever heard about it. You should.
Turistas?
It's crazy. It's crazy. The movie itself is about organ trafficking in Brazil. And I don't know what was wrong with me, but I omitted all of that and I just focused on the scenery and how beautiful the people were and like the culture. And so I went on my study abroad there. And that's when I learned Portuguese. And then I came here and I always had that, I guess, passion of blending, you know, my experiences, Dominican in New York and like multi-language. So this song as my first, you know, debut, the first thing that people are going to see from me, I wanted to kind of blend all of that in with all the sass and curls and you name it.
Yeah. Very provocative production, I must say, you know.
Well, yo, let me tell you, that production, believe it or not, I did it in my house. It was in my house. Like, in the living room area. I took everything away. We had lights. We had my iPhone, a standstill, and then I had my friends like doing props with leaves in the back for staging and different camera angles. Like it was all just a product of quarantine. And I've been saying this, but quarantine has sparked so much hustle and so much like drive. Because otherwise, and I'm not gonna front, I was like, no, because in order for this to happen, like I need to invest X amount, or always like an excuse. And frankly, we're spending so much money on devices like phones that have a camera that's magnificent, and other people are using it. So I was like, hold up, if a producer is using an iPhone to shoot something, why can't I? Because I got the same phone, and so that is done. I was like, listen, guys, I'm gonna shoot a music video in my house come at this time, and it's fun.
No, I mean that's dope, man. That that you've been able to continue grinding during these times, because the music industry's been hit hard. There's no shows, I mean, and there will not be any shows for the foreseeable future. So you got to find another way to hustle. And I've noticed that you've been hustling hard with these live performances via Instagram that I joined the other day. It was pretty dope. Could you tell us a little bit about how you make those things happen? Because you had a full 5-piece band. Rhythm guitars, acoustics, you had the bongo and conga players. It was lit.
So my boyfriend and I, prior to quarantine, we're singers. I mean, that's what we're entertainers. What we do. And we always performed with the band. And unfortunately, due to quarantine, everything shut down. And we got into our depression. We got into our feelings. But then we got a little bit more productive. And we started doing, literally in the couch, we started doing live sessions. Him and I, for fun. Then we were like, let's get some profit. Let's put a little tip information on the bottom. And then now that things are getting better in a sense, because a lot of the coronavirus, I mean, I had someone pass away and then the severity of it. But there's a lot of fear, right? And I think like fear, sometimes it might be stronger than what's actually happening around us. So after 2 months, all my musicians and I were like, each other. Like in the first week, I was like, oh, come to my house, let's do it. They were like, nah, it's coronavirus. But after a while, it's okay. We're all healthy. Let's gather, let's jam. And it was so like improvised. Like it happened from one day to the other. And some of my musicians like brought the whole gear. We staged everything. We brought the lights. And it was fun. Like it was a much needed jamming session. And so we also happened to make it into a live with 2 sets, outfit changes and everything. So that was our first run. And so this week coming up, we're going to continue to do the same, and just provide entertainment and music for everyone, even during quarantine.
Yeah, and I like the fact that you're hustling hard. You put the Cash App there, because, I mean, what else are you going to do? I mean, maybe people, if 5,000 people donate $5, you made it. You could pay the band, you could pay yourselves. It's pretty dope.
Exactly.
It's an innovative idea. I like that, I haven't seen a lot of other people doing that really,
So we're doing that, and that's nice because it's very different when you just have an acoustic guitar and like 2 singers, right? So I think like the energy that we all miss each other, and that was pretty, visible. And that energy transmitted into something greater than I ever imagined. So people liked it. We're definitely going to do it better, more organized, and just make it a thing from now on.
That's dope. Now, I noticed that you do music in English and in Spanish. Mm-hmm. As you mentioned before, you are of Dominican nationality.
Yeah.
Does it become like difficult? Because I know that was an issue for me, and I've gotten a lot of flack over the fact that, I don't do a lot of shows in Spanish. I really haven't, gotten into the Spanish world, even though I speak Spanish fluently. You know, do you find like that internal battle, like, to like, oh, should I just go Spanish? Should I just go English? Dime, porque yo tengo ese mismo problema mentalmente.
Listen, I'm not going to lie. So I was a teacher prior to this. And it's been officially a year since I became like a full-blown full-time singer. And when I first started in the Washington Heights, like Upper Bronx area, a lot of the live music is of course in Spanish, like Bohemian Spanish stuff. So when I started, I'm like, oh, that's great, but I do more than that. So
Yeah.
I started adding Adele, I started adding Rihanna, and I saw it as an advantage, honestly, because it sets you apart from other people. And the way that I sell my shows, it's for the generation that is multi-language. The one that, yes, they're very strong about their roots, but they're also very much, you know,
Americanized.
Dominican.
Yeah.
That when we hear that Throwback Thursday and some Neo or I don't know, some Robin Thicke comes up, we jamming. So it's
Yeah.
good to have that. And what I try to do in my shows is, of course, embrace that and bring like the old and the new, both in Spanish and in English. Um, so yeah, that's pretty much it.
Now, I also noticed that unfortunately you had someone pass away due to the COVID-19 virus. When you
Mm-hmm.
wrote a lovely song called Smile, could you elaborate a little bit on, on why you felt the need to make that song?
Yeah. So during quarantine, my stepfather got the virus. He spent a month and change battling. But unfortunately, God sent for him so that he's no longer in suffering. So that it's easy to say, it's hard to, digest that in the moment. So I went from doing everything and more in music to just kind of like focusing on my family and setting everything apart. And it's an internal battle in a way because that person was suffering, that person was quarantined. They couldn't have access to anybody, no family members. And maybe didn't get a chance to say goodbye, to say, I'm sorry for the things that I may have hurt you, so on and so forth. So that song didn't come out instantly. It was actually really crazy. One of my fellow friends sent a melody. And they were like, hey, Natalia, I know you're going through something. See what comes out of it. And I was like, okay. Just to let you know, like, I am not in the right mindset for like pop music. I'm in my feelings and I'm going through something. They were like, don't worry about it. Let's get inspired. And I kid you not, I was neglecting music, but music became the healing source for me. Like, writing that song was hard, but it was a way for me to, kind of come to peace with what was happening, to say goodbye in the best way that I could. And at first, I didn't know if I should share it because it was so personal. It is so personal. But then again, I am very active on social media, and I saw that a lot of people are going through the same thing. And so if my song could in some way help another, why not? We're on this together. Let's share that. So I sang a bit of it on Instagram, and people enjoyed it. They felt related to the song and its lyrics, and I am hopefully going to record it and release it full blown coming soon.
Well, I think that would be a great idea because, like you said, a lot of people are going through mental health issues right now. A lot of people
Mm-hmm.
feel trapped. A lot of people are going through domestic violence issues. And I think that's like a really lovely song. And it might help, any little bit helps to try to
Yeah.
get over, what's going on because, this has been a traumatic experience for all of us. So from the Angel of
Mm-hmm.
Words podcast, we want to thank you for making such a lovely song. And everyone out there, if you haven't heard it, go and check it out on Natalia's. What's your Instagram, Natalia? So people can go out and check out that
Yeah.
lovely
It's
song.
Nata, so Nata period
Mhm.
Leah _ official.
Now we went from being a teacher to
Yeah.
full-time singing. Like, how does that happen? What were
I,
you teaching?
I was an elementary school teacher. Well, still am because I still have my degree. I taught first, second, third, and fourth grade for 4 years.
Okay. Wow. And then you were like,
Mm-hmm.
I want to be a singer. I'm just gonna do this.
Well, I always used to sing. And then teaching was, still is like I love kids, definitely a passion of mine. But then I met a lot of my friends and the musicians that I play with. And I just, dove into that world. at first I couldn't even attend the shows because I was so tired. Like teaching is a profession that does not get as much credit as it should. And parents now know, and a lot of people now know because they have to spend all day with the kids.
Everybody's getting a raise after this. I'm telling you, man.
Hello. And even though I'm a teacher, I'm definitely going to be in that rally, like pay them more, because 33 kids, all different personalities, and yourself, like it's a lot. So with that said, I eventually started singing, and they would invite me to perform. And I was shy about it. Like, I didn't tell nobody that I sang. But they heard me sing, and they were like, come sing along. And I started seeing a reaction, and people were like, just do it more often. So I started finally doing gigs. And balancing gigging at night with waking up at 5:30 to teach for 10 plus hours was crazy. Like, I was the walking dead. And there's something about being on stage that just opened up a whole box of light into my life that in some way or form I felt like I was missing. The kids are amazing, but sometimes everything else that goes with education is not as pretty. And then music just won.
Yo, that is so that is such a wild ride, man. Mm-hmm. Now, did you have a hard time assimilating to America? You know, was it hard learning the language and things of that nature? You know, was it difficult for you?
So I was like 5 when I officially came to move here, and I cried every day. And I thought, because I was a little rebel, you know, I was a little rebel. And I thought that they were bringing me to America as a punishment. And I was, tell my mom, like, take me back. Like, I promise I'll behave good. Like, I hate it. I can't even go out. And then it was weird because imagine, I used to live in a, small town. Everyone knew each other. Like, I was in and out of neighbors' house. Like, me eating was a fight between neighbors and my grandma. Like, don't feed her. Like, she needs to eat at home. It was like nap, going to school, eating, nap time, going to play with friends, homework. And like, it was just so much freedom. And then coming here, my mom was new too, and she was scared of literally everything. She didn't know the language. I couldn't go outside. I didn't have any friends. They put me in first grade, full-blown English. And I knew I was smart. Like, I knew the answers because I had done it before, but I didn't know how to communicate it. And I will never, ever, ever forget this. They used to give stickers to all the students. And the stickers were collected on top of the desks. And they happened to sit me next to, the brightest star in the class. And despite the fact that she was so nice, I hated it. Why? Because I was like, it was like competition for me. I was like, this is not fair. Like, I hate it here. Like, I know the answers. Like, I communicated. This is it. So then eventually they put me into bilingual classes, which I think emotionally it was good for me, but educationally it didn't challenge me as much. Like, I fell into my comfort zone. And it wasn't until 6th grade that I was re-embedded into full-blown English. And I was like, oh, wake-up moment. Like, I have to speak it. And, like, I've always been competitive, and I've always been, like, type A about school and my education. So, yeah, it was like hustle. It was a struggle, but it was like hustle steady. And then by the time, like, 2 years later, I was, like, full-blown comfortable in English. But it did, I feel like, having been in bilingual class for so long, I think it did set me back a bit. So I had to work even harder to be at par with all of my other friends who were with a full-blown English education and had a broader vocabulary, more exposure to certain things that maybe I didn't. But you still win the race. So with hard work, I still went to college, graduated summa cum laude.
Okay.
And, I speak English all the time. It's crazy. Even more than Spanish.
Wow. Now, you spoke on, the fact that, you did come here from another country. Immigration is a big issue here in the United States, still, and it has been for several decades now, and J-Lo and Shakira performed at the Super
Their
Bowl.
statement was wild.
And,
Yeah.
And there was a lot of criticism, though, from the public, that really doesn't understand the Latino culture. And they made it seem, a lot of critics made it seem like, oh, it's just Latinas exploiting their hypersexuality. That's not women's empowerment. Like, what do you say as a singer who has probably looked up to these ladies and their careers?
Doesn't everyone else exploit their sexuality? Like, what? Excuse me? Just think about it. Take a second.
Yeah.
Okay, great. Like, everyone does.
Yeah.
I'm glad that they did what they did, and they brought up other Latino artists like Bad Bunny. They brought J Balvin. The dances were exquisite, and frankly, like, America consumes a lot of the Latino culture, and its food and its style sometimes. But when it comes to dividing everything equally, things change a little bit. And I feel like the more platform Latinos get, the better. Because I feel like a lot of time, even in the news outlets, it's very easy to paint a picture of a race, of a group of people. But it isn't until you see them in their action, in their element, that you can actually see them for who they are and what they bring to the table. So I was very happy with that.
Now, what do you think about Amara La Negra and and the fact that she feels that like dark beauty in the Latino culture is underrepresented?
Sorry, say that one more time.
I said, what are your thoughts on Amara La Negra and the promotion of black of Afro-Latina and Afro-Latino beauty? Because it seems to be underrepresented sometimes in the Latino community.
Big time. I remember when she came out, she was like, that song was a hit. Amara La Negra is stunning. She is beautiful. I'm glad that she has opened up about the racism that's happened. Like, I mean, yes, Latinos are great and everything, but the same way that we have racism in America and its culture, we also have it in the Latino culture. And I feel like even us growing up with our very Dominican or whatever Spanish-speaking race you're from or country you're from, a lot of things are said about like color and about hair texture and about, oh, don't stay too much in the sun because XYZ, you're not going to be beautiful anymore. I remember seeing so many whitening creams for your skin. Everything was about straightening your hair. God forbid your hair was like this. That was a no-no. And so I'm glad that she's bringing, her experience and her beauty to light and encouraging others to do the same. Because I've met a lot of women who unfortunately only feel confident and comfortable once they have like whitened themselves to an extent. And by whitening, I mean like, masking their natural
the European kind of look, like the Anglo-Saxon
like masking
kind
their
of look.
curls, masking their true skin complexion, so on and so forth.
Now, what do you enjoy more, songwriting or singing?
Okay, so initially, I love singing. I love performing. It's so much fun. But during quarantine, I've been writing more and writing with others. And that is such a cool process, like such a cool creative process. Because when you're singing in that element, right, and you're starting, a lot of the songs you sing are other people's songs, which is cool. You get to interpret them. But when you're creating your own and you want a story to come through, like choosing the perfect words, the way in which it's a story. It's storytelling, story writing. It's really, really cool. I love it.
Now,
so now it's like
but now what?
Now it's half. I like both.
Okay.
Before it was like 90-20, like 80-20. Now it's like 50-50.
All right, cool. Now, I want to play a game with you. It's called the 5 Words with Angel. All right, so it's called, you know, you have to pick and choose. You have to pick one. All right, and it's gonna be 5. It's basically like the versus battle, but you have to answer what you think I'm gonna pick.
Okay.
All right, cool. So, Bad Bunny or Anuel?
Ooh. This is what you're gonna think or what I'm gonna think?
Yeah, what I'm gonna think.
I don't know, Bad Bunny.
You're correct. You got it.
Hey, I know it's dope though.
No, that was official. I ain't gonna lie. All right, here we go. J-Lo or Shakira?
J-Lo.
Facts. Okay. Mark Anthony or Romeo Santos?
Ooh, that's tough. Would you like Mark Anthony or Romeo Santos? Ooh, I'll go with Romeo.
Well, that was a trick question, but they're both awesome, and I can't choose.
I know.
So that's like picking the apples and oranges. I don't know. Depends on how I feel that day, you know.
I'm dying. So I saw a Romeo concert last year, and I'm dying to see one of Mark's. I was like, I cannot not see one of his live.
He's gonna make you cry. The first time I ever saw him live, he made me cry. I ain't even gonna lie. Gotta admit that, folks, to the public. First time I saw Mark Anthony, I was crying in my mother's arms like a little baby. I took my mother and my sister, and it was the greatest concert I've seen till I saw the Jay-Z and Beyonce concert. That was crazy too. All right, next up, okay, Evie Queen or Becky G?
Evie.
Yes. Now this one is for you. Beyonce or Rihanna?
Rihanna.
Ooh, okay, a Rihanna person. I like that. It's so back and forth with these questions. I love it. Now, before we end the podcast, we would like to ask you if you could sing the first verse of Celos for us, a cappella.
Okay. So I'll sing Celos. A little bit of it, and then you guys can find it on YouTube.
Yeah, just a little bit. Yeah, so the public can hear your lovely voice, because you know people are listening to me all the way out to Spain, France, like on the Spotify. You never know. We gotta hear that voice, you know.
All right, so this is Celos. Like we mentioned earlier, it's the complexities of being side piece and not wanting to be so anymore. It goes like this. Al comienzo entendía que solo era cama, no había amor. Recuerdo cuando me decías, hablamos luego que ya llegó. Y nos fuimos desenvolviendo, perdiendo el miedo. No había lugar ni hora para un beso. Corazón, ya no estoy aceptando. Yo soy tu otra mitad, te amo. Son unos celos uno tras de otro. Compartir tu cuerpo y también tu boca. Sé que lo acepté por un instante. La verdad es que ya no deseo ser tu amante. Son unos celos uno tras de otro. Dividir tu cuerpo y también tu boca. Sé que lo acepté por un instante. La verdad es que ya no deseo ser tu amante. Son unos celos uno tras de otro.
Oh, and that was the sultruous voice of Natalia. Natalia, where can we find you on your social media platforms? Where can we find that content before we end the podcast today, my love?
Yes. Follow me on Instagram, natal.lia_. You can also find me on iTunes, Apple Music, Google Play, and YouTube by simply putting Celos Natalia.
Fantastic. Thank you so much for your time today, Natalia.
Thank you.
We wish you all the best in your career moving forward. You know I'm going to be keeping a lookout for you, because when you get popping, you got to come back on the podcast and do another one, you know?
Likewise. Thank you so much for your time.
All right, man. Ciao. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
I hope you enjoyed my interview today with singer-songwriter Natalia Hernandez Nuñez. Now, folks, don't forget to subscribe. Click on that notification bell. Like, dislike. Let us know what you're thinking. You could also follow us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcasts. And if you want to see what I'm up to on my social media, follow me at Angel of Words ENT, all one word. Thank you for tuning in, everybody.